Hi again, everyone. I hope you all set because it's time to switch continents. We're heading to the US for a truly special session. I'm thrilled to welcome Andy from Orbat Media, who's joining us to talk about a topic that's right at the heart of every marketer's challenge these days: AI for B2B content strategies and lead generation. So, if you think AI is just a buzzword and is about to prove you wrong, he's going to show you how smart content strategies and a touch of machine intelligence can truly transform the way we generate leads and create impacts in B2B. Just a quick reminder before we dive in. So keep your comments polite and fun in the chat. You can drop your questions in the dedicated tab and don't hesitate to about the ones you find the most interesting. And yes, the replay will be available. All right, time to switch to Andy's. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Orly. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to be the final presenter in this great day that you're all having. Uh, I am a B2B lead gen marketer mostly, but I've done 24 years of SEO and analytics. I've been doing content strategy since 2007. And our company here, Orbit Media, is a web development firm. So really the focus of my career has been on conversion optimization and maximizing the percentage of visitors who become leads. Uh, Traffic is hard to win and easy to lose. So part of what we're going to do today, especially at the end, is to talk about how to use AI to identify gaps to improve lead flow for any website. These feel like magic tricks. And it's really based on a lot of thinking, literally decades of thinking. But I'm going to start with the perspective about search because it's an interesting time for SEO. I think the AI impact on search is probably the biggest marketing story of 2025. So I'm going to share my screen and jump right in. And this is our latest thinking on search and lead generation and content. You may see charts like this in your analytics. This is my analytics. You can see that it peaked long ago, actually, and that there's a decline in traffic from search. Very, very common, typical story. But I want to answer this question first. Why is search traffic down? And it may not be just the AI story. I have a strange hobby. I collect screenshots of Google search results pages, and I have done that for many, many years. So this is a screenshot of a Google search results page from 2014. This is a screenshot of that same search results page today. If you search for buckets in 2014, you got a lot of different things. If you search for buckets today, you get buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets. There are products and maps, and people also ask. And the number one ranked page for this keyword is 8,500 pixels from the top of the screen. And this has nothing to do with AI. So I want to start with this just reminder that the decline in click-through rates from Google are not simply about AI. You may rank number one for this key phrase and go to a meeting and celebrate that top position. But that's just top rankings. It's not a position. The position is actually very low. So the big change in search has been happening for a long time, where position one is appearing farther down. Position five in this example is much farther down because of search engine results page features, SERP features. And there's many more of them, and the AI overview is certainly a very impactful search feature, which you're seeing now. So let's just start there and remind ourselves that SEO is not really just about rankings, and it's not even the best metric. I wish we could just report on position, literally pixels from the top of the viewport, or maybe how many images and visual noise is appearing above our rankings, because rankings alone is sort of insufficient today. My second point is to point out that it's not all traffic that's down in equal parts. Not all phrases have equal intent, and not all pages have equal value. Uh, this is a point of view from for years. We simply taught that content marketing targets information intent keywords. It answers questions. But it's the sales pages, the money pages, the home page, those key service pages that target information intent key phrases. Now, in 2016, Google added the featured snippets, right? And now the fact intent phrases become no click. In 2018, they added the people also ask. Now simple answers become no click key phrases. And in 2024, with the AI overview, even longer answers, best practices, these become no click key phrases. But I still very strongly believe that there are many phrases for which the visitor has visit website intent. They're trying to get to a website. They need help. They're looking at options. They're considering partners. So the first message here is to prioritize not the content marketing SEO stuff, but the commercial intent, money key phrases. Optimize these pages. Optimization should begin from the bottom up. And by the way, those visitors who just had questions, they really didn't want to go to a website anyway. Let's remind ourselves, these people, it was never a very high quality visitor, and they're not of equal impact. It's really, if you make a comparison in Google Analytics, you can see separately. I wish people would stop reporting on top line traffic. It's not a true story. It's not an accurate picture. Separate your traffic for these types of phrases and types of pages, and then report. And you may find that most of the drop is to low blog posts for which the visitor had a low conversion rate anyway. Just if you scroll down, you can see it's the most impacted traffic is actually the least valuable traffic. The key event rate, people who take action, they converted, they subscribed, they registered, they downloaded, they became a lead, they filled out a contact form. Those rates are far, far lower. So let's focus on our key pages. That's what lead generation is all about. Now, the impact of AI and how people use AI to get answers from the internet is very interesting and quite different. I think that if we start, there's a lot of presentations and articles about the differences in the technology between ChatGPT and Google or AI and traditional search. But think about the user behavior differences. That I think is more interesting and more important. How are people using these tools? Everything starts with the user. There is a true story in the life of every future prospect. We have to understand that story and how they use the web first. So my thesis here is that people mostly use Google to get options, but they use AI to get recommendations. Think about that. It's quite different. This is not the same. People are using Google. When you use Google, you're going to see links somewhere and you click to see if that's a good option. But the way that our audiences use AI is really much more about consideration phase. They're looking for a recommendation, not just options. So here's the change on a chart. Up until 2024, the SEOs did the traffic and the conversion optimizers did the conversion, right? Consideration and awareness, or consideration and action. But now we have to think about AI optimization, not just for visibility, but to be recommended. SEOs, I think, are missing this. They have not embraced this, is that the goal is not to get AI to show you, that's visibility. It's to get AI to recommend you. The visitor is in consideration mode. If you go to AI and say, who's the best option for X, Y, or Z, you asked for the best option. It's going to give you recommendations, especially if you give it more information. And this is what your prospect is likely doing either today or in the near future. Evidence of this is that prompts are simply much longer than queries. The average prompt is 20 plus words long. The average query is maybe 4. So this is a big difference. More evidence of this is in each of your own analytics. Look at the conversion rates, the key event rate in Google Analytics for the money click, the contact lead. You'll see it's maybe twice as high for visitors from ChatGPT than visitors from Google. That's what we're seeing. I have access to 500 Google Analytics accounts. We've done thousands of projects for companies over the years. So that's one of my first points, is that search optimization was always just about attracting visitors, and they left the conversion optimization to the UX and conversion copywriters. But AI is both mousetrap and cheese. So with that in mind, we have to step away from some of our SEO best practices. This is an example. These drive me crazy. This is a page that someone made to help the visitor make a decision. They're considering options. They're serious about getting help. They want the top rated building management systems. But look what the SEO did. They started with a definition of what a building management system is. That is classic SEO. That is bad conversion optimization because it doesn't empathize with the story and the life of the visitor in the moment. So this is something that Lydia Infante said. She runs SEO for SurveyMonkey. Not all content needs keyword research, but all content needs user research. That that resonates with me. I'm not just an SEO. I'm a content strategist. I'm a lead generation marketer. So that's the point, is that search optimization is cheese, conversion optimization is mousetrap, but AI optimization is both. We need to train the AI to recommend our brand. And that means applying some of the SEO strategies, making content crawlable, ingestible, easy for a machine to understand, but go deeper into the funnel, optimizing the content that helps people make a decision. I'll explain. So when we optimize for AI mentions, AI recommendations beyond AI visibility, I'm going to suggest first that prompting is evolved into a well understood format. People give AI a role, people give AI a task, people give AI some context, and they want a certain output. Let's assume that this is generally how people use AI. And in this case, it's a mechanical contractor who's looking for help with contamination control, some kind of filters. So those are classic prompt engineering: the role, the skills, the task, the context, and the output. In that case, it was the role as a mechanical engineer, the task is to find suppliers, the context is filter elements for X, Y, and Z. The output is a list of suppliers that are good for this user in this moment. Now, if that's prompt engineering, maybe our job now is to do prompt reverse engineering and confirm that these elements are in our content, on our key pages, that we're training the AI to be a sales rep for our brand, adding to the AI training data, not just things that make us more visible, but things that make us more likely to be recommended. So, do we do this? I don't think most SEOs put job titles of all their potential buyers into their content. That's maybe different. Do we put industry category? Yes, all day, every day. SEOs are very good at that. Again, I've done 24 years of SEO. I love search. I find it fascinating to capture demand in the moment. So of course I would include that. Specific outcomes, stories, proof points, case studies. That's not really what an SEO often does, but it is exactly what the AI optimizer must do, to inject into the training data all of the examples that help the AI believe that this is the best option for that user when they search. So these are different approaches, it's a different mindset. If AI is helping people get recommendations, then AI needs to be trained by giving it consideration phase content. Now, if that's true, then it should be possible for us to use AI to identify gaps in our pages, gaps in our content, gaps in our messaging. Now, it is very clear from the research that AI is learning about our brands from our websites. The website doesn't become less important in this area. It becomes far more important because it is forever your best chance to train the AI on everything about your brand. Your website is the only place on the internet where you have unlimited space and time to include all the things that AI needs to have to be able to recommend you. So this is, if that's true, then we can make a prompt that will audit our pages for this outcome. So here's an AI optimization audit prompt. I wrote this prompt, take a screenshot, we can share it. We're sharing the deck. And it's simply saying, does this page or this website include the things that AI needs to know to recommend our brand? It's difficult to get AI to focus on a website. frequently falls back on its base training data. We want it to stay focused on the website for this audit. Don't look around, stay focused on the site. And just tell me, does this site clearly describe what we do? Does it name the target audience who buys? Does it list specifically the services, the use cases, and the product categories? Does it also include the desired outcomes, the metrics, the impact to the business? And are all of those trust signals provided as text? So it's insufficient to simply have the logos of your companies or the awards or the certifications that you have. Probably now, to be easily ingested by an AI, those elements need to be crawlable. SEOs understand making content crawlable, easily friendly, scraped, you ingested. But the focus was always simply on keywords and semantic related phrases, but now it needs to be on those conversion focused elements. And is the content clear and specific and prominent? Present your findings as a table, apply a score to these pages, suggest find content gaps and suggest ways we could fill them. AI comes back with a tiny audit to improve the likelihood we get recommended by AI. Did it focus on the website? Yes, it did. Success. We're auditing just this domain. And now, did it answer these questions? Did it provide those insights? Your research may suggest different criterion. It's up to you. This is simply a point of view. We're in October of 2025. I'm one SEO doing lots of research suggesting this is a hypothesis. Regardless of the criteria that you believe are important for AI to understand a brand, you can write the prompt, get the audit, and it will score you. It will score these pages. And look, we missed a few things. That site doesn't really list the outcomes or the before and after benefits of a new system. It doesn't talk about the service life extension. It doesn't talk about contamination monitoring. There are no trust cues. It doesn't list the programs or the logos or the awards. Now, because we're in AI, we can go past the audit. It almost automatically goes past the audit and starts listing out ways that we can improve that visibility. It will even write for us draft copy that will plug the holes. So this is a very interesting approach, and it's based on this general idea that search is for options, AI is for recommendations. Here are the specific recommendations. So yes, you're going to see a lot of content about how to structure, like a technical SEO would, how to structure content to make it easily ingested. Single H1, list section, schema. Yes, these seem to correlate with AI citations, but that is not really the full story if you think about AI as a brand channel, AI as a performance tool. This is simply technical, structural, but you could miss huge important messages, but still have beautiful structure and fail to win the lead, fail to get recommended by AI. So that's my suggestion, is that we stop thinking just about AI visibility and start thinking about AI for recommendations. The tools don't do this, right? The SEMrush doesn't have this report. This is not, the SEO tools are focused on SEO and visibility. We're focused here on conversion and lead generation. So that's the main message, is that in this new era, we need to train AI to be a sales rep for the brand. Slightly different perspective, but this is likely what will win. You could think about AI as almost a word of mouth channel. Now, to understand how AI perceives our brands in the context of other brands, we can actually see it very easily. You can ask AI what it thinks about your brand. You can pretend to be the buyer. To do this, I picked a random company here. I could pick any company. I'm just making slides. Here's an example. They make emergency filter rentals. We could do this for anyone. But then I use a prompt to pretend to be my future prospect. I'm a job title looking for a service provider. I need this specific help. I have these requirements. My goal is a problem. Who is a good option with these as my criteria? Present a table with each supplier as a row. Include this specific brand in the mix. I want to see myself in there. So when I try that prompt for this brand or for this category, mechanical contractor, industrial filtration, it comes back and actually will make for you a chart that shows your weaknesses as perceived by AI and their strengths as perceived by AI. This is the moment. You now know where the gaps are in AI's training data and how to go plug those holes. Unlike Google, AI exposes to us its sources. It will tell you what it thinks of your brand in comparison and in the context of these other brands. So because it's so transparent, you then know you don't need another tool for this. You can't use a tool for this. You just ask the AI to create for you a comparison table and then go hit those points hard. Add those details and evidence to your site, prominent pages, maybe the home page. Add those details and evidence to the service pages, the ones specifically where it's training on that offer. Publish case studies that show the outcome. SEOs don't talk much about case studies. They just look for keyword opportunities. This is a conversion element that we're including for lead generation. And then highlight these aspects all throughout our content. Talk about it. You have unlimited space and time. Fill the blog, right? AI is searching anyway. You can make keyword focused pages that it will find the buyer guide when the person is looking for this. But that buyer guide needs to be filled with proof, evidence, impact. This is a conversion focused thinking for the search optimizer, which may be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's good to stretch your legs. You can also very clearly see it's exposed, it's visible, what Google thinks of your brand. Now, I picked this company. I could pick any company. I'm going to use this brand. They make construction management software. You can see the keyword right there, construction management software. So if I go to Google and I ask it, who makes construction management software? That's the buyer research question. I'm going to switch now to AI mode, and it will show me, I'm looking at what's inside Google, what Google has trained on, what Google believes, who are the best, who are the big players. If you're not there, you need to tell it to add you because we're doing a bit of competitive analysis, reverse engineering recommendations, not just ranking and visibility. When you get a comparison table out of Google AI mode, that's it. This shows you what Google thinks the pros and cons are of your brand compared to the others. How else could you know what needs to be published to improve the likelihood of AI recommending your brand? This is how we find out where we are weak and where they are strong. Now, that is almost sufficient analysis, but AI is a tool for helping support the gaps and for doing audits. So in this moment, you can actually use a screenshot tool. I'm going to use Snagit, which is a tool made by TechSmith, to grab a section of this page. I'm going to take a scrolling section, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm taking a screenshot right now of that part of that page. Now I have it as an image. It's on my clipboard. I paste it into a ChatGPT prompt, and then I include, there it is, it's at the top. That's the screenshot. And then I'm going to ask it for recommendations. I'm giving you this based on AI's, you're an optimization expert. Based on these highlights, suggest ways to improve the brand's website content so the brand is more likely to be recommended by Google. Your goal is to improve the perception and the visibility of this brand in future AI responses. Those are the instructions. It will come back, and based on what Google believes your strengths and weaknesses are, how to adapt in your content, explicitly highlight those comparable strengths. Look, we didn't do this. The page doesn't do this. Google doesn't know this. Transparent proof and evidence. We didn't do this. Google didn't see this. It's missing. That's why it thinks that we're a weak provider. ROI proof points. Again, these aren't things that an SEO would classically do. Strengthen the category positioning, pillar content, industry-specific landing pages. That's a big miss because this site has industry-specific landing pages. This is just ChatGPT's point of view on the Google AI mode comparison table. So I disregard that point because it's incorrect. The site has strong industry-specific landing pages, so we'll skip that. And then highlight simple strengths. I really like this. Make the value proposition shorter and sharper because that's how LLMs work. They are looking for concise, semantic chunks of language that state simply the meaning and help the model return that in a response. So, and then of course, in seconds, it makes for us a prioritized, list of next steps. I love this. You can continue the conversation. You can have it write draft content. You can talk to it. You can ask it how it missed something, or ask it to include something, or suggest where to add these elements. You're in generative AI already, so you can continue the exercise and take next steps. You can also see very easily, not everyone has done this yet, precisely which of your content is attracting traffic from AI. If you haven't built this yet, I encourage you to set it up. This is a GA4 exploration, which is just a custom report. You begin by clicking these plus buttons to choose the dimensions and the metrics you want to use, and then dragging them into the rows, the columns, the values. So all this is a simple report that shows the page titles as the rows, the page refers as columns, and I'm going to show you session and engagement rate. But I've created a filter so that it only shows the AI referral sources. These are referral sources, right? People came from here and landed here. How many people? How engaged were they? So that filter has a regular expression called regex that describes in a string the data set that I want to include or exclude. I'm including it. Page refer matches regex. You could make exclusion regexes. It's anything. And this is just a bunch of sort of code-looking stuff that says all the AIs. I try to put them all together. So this is the regex that I made. It maximizes the character limits for the exploration filters. Take a screenshot or email me, or this deck has it in the notes. I put it right there in the notes. So I've seen people make very, very detailed ones. They're too long to fit in that little box. This one I think gets the big ones. So that's it. Now you can see. And it's possible to do analysis on this and give this to the AI and say, what else could I create that is likely to not just get citations, but clicks, and not just clicks, but high engagement visitors from the AI. So you could adapt your content strategy for yourself, for your clients, for your brand, for your skill set, by understanding better what content is working well in this new channel. So if you export that, I'll do it. I'm going to export that. I made the slides already. You can give this data to ChatGPT. I do this all the time. I love to give AI GA4 data. It's not common yet, probably, but it's very simple. When you export that, the first thing you should do is delete the first 9 rows in the CSV file. So because they're comments, it doesn't need it. Clean up the data. Always clean up data before giving it to AI so it doesn't stumble or choke. Here's the prompt. Analyze the report. Our goal is to maximize traffic from AI sources. Analyze the differences in which type of topics and content AI likes. Focus only on the blog posts, not the service pages. I'm trying to narrow it down. I'm doing content strategy now. So it's going to recommend updates to existing content. It's going to suggest new content. So again, this content strategy GA4 analysis prompt for AI visibility is also in this deck. It's in the notes. I know these screenshots are hard to make and they're hard to share, but the notes has that whole prompt. So it comes back. There's the analysis. Very interesting. It's not surprising, but what it finds is that research, and this has been true for years, research is an all-powerful format for content. Publish new original data. AI can't do that. AI doesn't create new original data. So this is a moment when we can decide to create highly differentiated content, the kind of thing that AI can't make. It's an opportunity. A lot of people are just using AI to make things that AI could do without them. Waste of time. Instead, we should use AI to help us find things we can make that AI can't do by itself, such as strong opinion content, thought leadership, highly visual content, content with lots of collaborators, influencer collaborations, new original data. AI cannot do any of these things. Therefore, we should prioritize each of these things in our content strategies. Answer friendly subheads, research back reports, consolidate hub pages. I probably should do that. These are all quite good ideas. So it's using AI and your first party data to iterate and optimize your content for better visibility in all the LLMs. So when I think about AI as a new channel, it reminds me of other branding channels, not performance channels, but channels for branding, where you're trying to where AI becomes kind of like word of mouth. Think of it that way. It's a word of mouth channel. It's just word of an artificial mouth. Your goal is to win share of voice, but not a human voice, share of an artificial voice. In fact, when you really win is when you become top of mind, top of this new artificial mind. It's it's it highlights this idea that SEOs are going to struggle here because these are really brand marketing, not performance marketing. This may be a brand marketing channel where you don't get good attribution. You don't have clear metrics. You have big ideas and you become memorable, but you can't, it's kind of a dotted line to lead generation. So that is going to be unsatisfying for some marketers. But those who really embrace this are going to enjoy the thrill of digital PR success and the joy of collaboration with influencers and publishing in many places. So I'm going to share that now, the way to get brand mentions that will improve this. Probably the biggest digital footprint will win. AI ate the internet. It ingested everything. And therefore, the brands that have more mentions online, instances where your brand appears with the industry terms, are more likely to get recommended. Two brands competing in this channel. One has 1,000 instances of their brand nearby the words, right? The proximity, the semantic distance between the brand and the industry terms is close. Another brand, never done PR, never written for anybody, never done it, only writing for their own blog. That which of those brands will likely win? The correlation here shows from Ahrefs shows that branded web mentions. Here's an example. I'm in a community. There's a journalist in this community, and she asked a question. What do? I stop everything and I write for her a very detailed answer, right? That's PR. Strike while the iron is hot. So time goes by, the article is published. Here's the article itself. And in this article, there is a mention of my brand, Orbit Media, and the related co-occurring, you could say, co-occurring industry terms. Chicago-based digital agency focused on web development and website optimization. These words appearing next to these words helps train the AI that we are a provider for that. Also, there's a link that's good for SEO, right? That link, if you click it, goes to this weird profile page. Don't care. Not a factor. Disinterested. If my goal is AI optimization, we're not looking at links anymore. We're looking for co-occurring brand mentions. That's the modern equivalent of link building. It's digital PR where you're looking to inject these co-occurring industry terms into the training data. So there's other methods where you can simply see it exposes which sources are the most relevant. If you put in a competitor and just say, what do you know about this competitor? Ask it for the sources, and it will come back and tell you. If you expect to compete with that brand, you should also be in this place. Here's some other ones. It will tell you. If you expect to compete with that brand, you should also appear in these places. So it's not always just a scattered approach. You can be very focused in the places where you choose to expand your digital footprint and win those co-occurring brand mentions. This is literally asking AI about its knowledge sources and the things that would be cited if a prospect is using AI to get recommendations. And it will tell you, I should be in these places, right? It will tell you, I should be in these places. And so these go on a list. These become partner programs. These are where you network in these directions to connect with those editors. This is because now you know, or you have strong evidence that AI is using these sources to train, and positive sentiment and and co-occurring industry terms in those places will help you become more visible. It's such an interesting time to be doing this, to be teaching this. Another thing you can do is to simply be active in other places, working backwards from the target audience. This is not competitive analysis. I'm simply going to start with the users and ask where the users spend time, which I would do even if there was no such thing as Google or ChatGPT. So, where do these people hang out? Well, here's a prompt. My friend Lisa Adams wrote this prompt. She calls it her watering holes prompt. You could copy this right out of the deck. I'm not, it's basically saying, make me a table that shows where these people learn, engage, interact with each other. And I want you to categorize them and show me them. And so when I fill in those blanks for my mechanical contractor, we could do this for anybody. It literally will then show us those places where those people spend time. That's where we need to engage and participate. That's where we need to pitch and attend and sponsor. These are the trade shows. Did you know all of these? Right? This is PR. This is offline research. This is community involvement. This is listening. You can see these are the top, these are the communities. What are the topics that are trending there? So it's a really interesting time to do research if you use these clever prompts, because we can we know where to pitch, we know where to participate, we know who to collaborate with. These are all opportunities to not just start with what's working for whoever else. SEOs are notorious for just doing what other people do. This is stepping back and asking, where is my next prospect spending time today? How can I be part of that conversation, part of that community? How can I engage on those topics? So that's the big idea, is to expand your digital footprint in places where competitors are visible, in places where AI suggests that this is training on your industry, or just where your audience is learning and participating. So it's good for digital PR, for guest posting, for influencer collaboration. Okay, I made it. This is the end. My last and the favorite thing I've ever done with AI is to review the bottom of funnel experience, the key pages. This is true. There are really a small set of pages on your domain where your visitor decides whether or not they want to become a lead. It's not 100, right? It's maybe 10 on many sites. So these key pages deserve 100x efforts. But it doesn't matter what I think it should say, or what the brand, if I'm an agency, what the brand thinks, right? It matters what the visitor thinks. Remember, there's a true story in the life of every visitor to every web page. We prioritize these pages because they have far, far higher conversion rates. It's the moment of truth. It's the moment of decision. The visitor is going to dismiss you and hit the back button or engage more deeply. But to do this well, we need to start with a persona. Here is a simple persona prompt that you can use to create a synthetic member of your target audience. It just says the job title, the geography, the skills, the problem they're trying to solve, the services they're considering, the industry category. And I want their hopes and dreams, their fears and concerns, their emotional triggers, because that's why people decide, and their decision criteria, right? The rational reasons why they may act or not act. So when I fill in the blanks for this building engineer, they've got a multi-site operation with heating and cooling needs. They're looking for an air handler. I'm not even sure what that is. It comes back and makes for me a persona about them. And this is what this audience is hoping for. This is what that audience is afraid of. This is what that audience is triggered by emotionally, what comforts them or worries them. And this is their decision criteria for selecting a company in that category. Amazing. It's brilliant. It will tell you. You can see. It will make for you a synthetic member of the target audience. I think this is one of the most important ways to use AI. If you don't train it on your target audience, why would it be targeted? If you don't teach it the difference in who we're talking to, why would it be differentiated? So there are many interesting things you can ask it once you have this. You can talk to it anytime. You can ask it anything you want. What would you click on? What would you search for? What do you need? What do you dislike about being in this process? Now, you're probably going to keep that and use it all the time. I would save it or just take it out. Copy and paste that into a PDF file, keep that PDF file, drag that PDF file into future prompts. We're going to do that now. Here's a page. Is it a good page? Not what I think, but what the audience thinks. I'm going to take a screenshot of this page and give it to the AI with the persona, right? So that I make sure that I'm not confusing this visitor. What is this about? I can't, are they real? Is this a good option? Now, to give AI that page, I've got 4 options. I could just copy and paste it. I could upload the HTML. I could link to it, but I'm always, for conversion audits, going to use a full page screenshot, because that will show, then it's emulating the experience of the visitor. It's rendered the images. It can pay attention to the visual hierarchy, which is the key to conversion in web development. So I'm going to upload that to ChatGPT. Here, I'm just going to use a free extension. Snagit has a cost. It's better, but this one, if you're taking full pages, not just a section of a page, it will do it for you. I save that full page screenshot, and I upload it with the persona. Here, I've included a persona alignment prompt, where the goal is to create a table to show me the extent to which I satisfied or did not satisfy the persona's information needs, and to put it in a matrix. Use some color. I want to be specific here, okay? So also, it will make for me a list of missed opportunities. So there it is. Oops, we didn't talk about efficiency. The persona cares about X. We did not include X. We didn't mention building automation systems. Oops, the audience cares about Y. We didn't mention Y. Remember, the job of these pages, similar to what we said moments ago, is to emulate a sales conversation. This is the key to conversion optimization. Your job is to build a page that guides them through a series of messages that align with their priorities and support their claims with evidence. So it's a very interesting point of view to show AI will tell you, if you give it an accurate persona, what are the specific gaps on your key page. Yeah, that's right. Now we're working. That's going to check the boxes. I've got one more method for you before we take questions. Many pages are just sort of big piles of unsupported marketing claims. We're number one, we love us, we're the best, everything's on time. But the best pages are filled with evidence and reasons to believe. Testimonials, videos, data, statistics, trust seals, awards, logos, years in business, certifications, number of happy customers. Does this page support its claims with evidence? I have a final prompt for you, which is an evidence audit prompt. It works like I give it the screenshot and I ask the AI to evaluate the extent to which the page did or did not support its claims. Right? Make for me a list of all the unsupported claims on this URL. Brilliant, right? And it comes back and it says, you said you were great at this, but you did not support it with evidence. You said you're number one for this, but you did not support it with evidence. This helps train the AI, and it maximizes the conversion rate for the visitor because it gives them reasons to believe. So there you go. Bring that to a meeting. Here's your list of unsupported claims. Here's examples of ways to support that. It lists for you. So again, AI can't easily do this. That's offline investigation to go find all those proof points inside that brand. They're not often they're not online yet. AI can't find them. They have never been published sometimes. But my main idea is that while everyone else is trying to use AI to find efficiencies, I think that's kind of boring. That's making more low quality stuff faster. Instead, let's use AI to find deficiencies and go plug those gaps and maximize conversion rates. Find the things that you're not training AI on. Find the things that your audience needs, but you didn't say. Find the things that you said, but you didn't support. So that's the big idea. We have time for a few questions. I'm going to. But before I do that, I want to mention Karen is coming soon. Save the date. This is going to the next conference is my good friend and one of the best, most trusted trend spotters in the context of AI and visibility, AI and search. So I'm going to stop sharing and let's see if we have a few questions. Okay. The first question is from Kelly. The question is, how did you stay up to date with the latest developments in AI and impact on marketing? Are there any sources or platforms you'd recommend since we don't currently have access to this kind of analysis? Thank you for the question, Kelly. I am constantly research these things. I do often see data and reports. The data and reports that I find most useful are the ones that talk about the user behavior changes. I sort of don't follow AI news. I know there's big news all the time. Most of it doesn't help me get better results. So the data I follow, that I'm most interested in is the user behavior changes. Also, I stay up to date by being part of several small groups, little mastermind groups where people share their best. That's my number one way to learn is to form a small group of other people who are actively experimenting and reporting and forming hypotheses and testing, sharing prompts. That's been my best way to learn quickly. The next question is from Leo. How can you be sure that AI is not hallucinating or creating without proof about the reports? Also, so I'll answer that first. When you use AI for audits, hallucinations are not a major concern because if you gave AI a page and asked it to list unsupported claims, you're really just getting a point of view. You're not looking for accurate information. I'm not asking it for statistics. I'm not using it for writing. I don't need it for that. What I need it for is to do gap analysis, which human brains are bad at. So AI for audits and AI for research circumvents the hallucination issues. The only people that need to worry about hallucinations are people that use AI to find specific data or people that use AI to writing, neither of which I touched on today. I hope that's helpful. Second question from Leo. Also, do you use agents to crawl these websites to simulate how the LLMs work? I do. If you put AI, ChatGPT into agent mode and then give it a page, tell it to go evaluate this page, you can watch it open a virtual browser and click with a virtual mouse. It's fascinating, but it's inaccurate in one way because AI is sort of infinitely patient and it will read every word on the page, which your visitors will not. I have not yet been able to train AI to emulate the short attention span of a human, but I will continue to try. Tom's question: Did you check if more a page respects the criteria of a specific persona? Is it more likely to be recommended by AI? I don't have data on this, and much of what I presented today is more of a perspective based on my own theses. I don't have evidence of this. I have SEO prompts that I use to do semantic keyword research and copy edits, which I have found are effective. That one I have confirmed. But even if the persona alignment prompt does not improve visibility in an AI response, you should do it anyway, because go look at your analytics. There's people on that page right now. I cannot think of a reason that any of us should disregard the opportunity to get insights about unanswered questions. Three things: unanswered questions, unaddressed objections, unsupported claims. If any of those are on your page, you need to fix them, even if they're just for your direct traffic visitors, for all visitors, your word of mouth, your referral visitors. But is it more likely to, can you change the perception of AI by adding different training data? I assume yes, because that's how AI works. It's learning by reading. The next question was from Ella. How often do you talk to ChatGPT about your website? Can it crawl your website immediately after changes? AI has a time cutoff. It's not real time. ChatGPT is not real time. Uh, Gemini is, because it searches real time. It searches pages that were added to the index very recently. So the time cutoff is not as much of an issue in Google. But I think that a conversion audit is something that you do maybe quarterly. It's not an everyday thing. Changes to it, how soon would those be ingested by AI? You can look at log files to see when ChatGPT bot has been visiting, but there's not much certainty in how long it would take to train the AI. If we're SEOs, it's more similar to link building, where you'll never get attribution that says this link changed this ranking for this keyword on this URL. This is, if you think more like a brand marketer than a performance marketer, you won't be as frustrated. Just eat your vegetables, go to the gym, and train the AI. Don't expect it to give you, don't expect to see direct connections between actions and impact in the moment. The final question was from, or was there one more? Margot. How can we properly analyze the core meaning of AI queries? Do you recommend using tools or monitoring logs, or even using the AI itself? There are tools coming out for this. My friend Dimitri recently built a tool. It's not published yet, but it deconstructs AI overviews and then analyzes them to identify content gaps on URLs. The answer is yes, there will be lots of tools for these. And I'm sure SEOs will all use them. But I want to emphasize the point I made earlier. Instead of following the leader and doing what others do, take a moment and ask, what can you do that is specific and unique to your brand? Can you take a stand? Can you publish a strong opinion? Can you come out strong and say this, not that? This is the right way, or new research, new data. Is your website the primary source for any statistics? If so, you have a huge advantage. So I know that SEOs will make tools that will automatic. I use Surfer SEO, and it's got an optimized button, like it just rewrites the content. But I would never use that because my goal in life is to not be boring. There is the AI optimization. Oliver has asked that I share a prompt. We're sharing the deck, which has all the prompts. But mostly, so I think that wraps the session. I believe we got to all the questions. I'm really happy to have included many of my favorite methods and that big perspective, which is the impact to search is not to all pages. It's information intent queries are mostly the zero-click queries these days. Focus on your key pages, optimize from the bottom of the funnel up. And in that active optimization, you are both training AI to become a better sales rep for your brand, making it more likely to recommend you in future responses, but also you're maximizing the impact for lead generation for each visitor in the moment. There's people on these pages right now. You should all feel urgency to make improvements, because if you just watch real-time analytics or watch a session recording of visitors, people who landed on the contact page but didn't act, missed opportunity. I hope for all of you, quality traffic and lots of leads. And this opportunity was special to me because it was a chance to go through some of my favorite and most recent thinking and share what I think are some of the best prompts. Next steps, I hope for many of you, is to work hard on a persona, probably a composite persona if your goal is to audit pages. You don't need 6 personas. The home page is everybody visiting. So composite personas should be sufficient. And then finally, don't just try to use AI for efficiency. There's no need to make more medium quality stuff. The internet does not need that. Use AI to find deficiencies and then go plug those gaps and create better experience for visitors from all traffic sources. That is the big unlock for lead generation. Thank you for the opportunity. This was so fun. I think that's all I had for you. If there's other questions, anyone is welcome to submit them here. Uh, and there, of course, is the bit.ly code for the study.
Hi, Andy. Thank you
Hi,
so much.
Orly.
Thank you for this. It was truly inspiring session, and what a way to wrap up the day. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. And before we say goodbye, just a quick reminder, please take a couple of minutes to fill out the survey notes on your screen, because your feedback helps us make every edition even better. And as a bonus, you'll get free access to our latest ebook. It's the one all about GEO. Thank you one more time, Andy, and have a nice day because it's
Merci.
oh, perfect.
This was a pleasure. I don't. If we do this again someday, maybe AI will translate everything in real time from English to French. But thank you for your patience and bearing with me. I have language skills, but not in this language. So, this was a great opportunity.
Thank you so much one more time. Well, for us, it's officially the end of day one of SEO Square. So a huge thank you to all of our speakers for sharing their time, expertise, and patience through the day. And of course, a big shout out as well to the whole CMG team who worked behind the scene to make it all run smoothly. So congrats, guys. We survived day one and nailed it. Don't go too far. We'll be back tomorrow morning, French time at 9:15 to kick off day two, which promises to be just as exciting and insightful. All right, now switching to French, you can turn off your live AI translator because you'll see I'm just as good as them. Merci encore Andy pour cette conférence passionnante et a été hyper inspirante. C'était trop bien. Ça nous a permis de conclure cette première journée du SEO Square. Je vous refais tout en français. Un immense merci du coup pour tous nos speakers, toutes leurs interventions, énergie, expertise. Franchement, vous étiez au top. Et merci aussi à toute la team CMJ. Vous ne nous voyez pas, mais tout le monde œuvre dans l'ombre pour que cette première journée soit un vrai succès. Donc, bravo à tout le monde. Merci également aussi à vous tous derrière vos écrans pour votre présence, vos questions, vos messages dans le chat. Franchement, vous êtes au top. J'espère que demain, vous revenez tous et que vous allez tous en parler autour de vous. Comme ça, on va être encore plus nombreux. Vous n'oubliez pas de prendre quelques petites minutes pour répondre à l'enquête qui ne s'affiche plus. Attendez, je vous la remets. Hop. Voilà, magnifique. Du coup, votre téléphone, vous flashez votre petit QR code, ça nous aide à améliorer notre event et surtout, vous allez recevoir gratuitement notre dernier livre blanc qui est sur le JO. Du coup, pour nous, on se retrouve demain matin à 9h15 heure française. Ça sera peut-être pas moi, mais pour ça, il faudra vous connecter. Ça sera donc le début de notre deuxième journée. Je vous assure, elle va être trop bien. Ça va être hyper riche, hyper passionnant. On vous prépare des nouvelles confs incroyables. D'ici là, vous reposez bien, vous hydratez et vous gardez vos cerveaux en mode SEO. Allez, bonne soirée à tous. À demain.